Stephanie here from freedomcallingrv.com, and today we're going to talk about one of the biggest questions Derek and I had when we started full-timing in our RV. We had never had an RV before, ever, and so one of the biggest things that immediately we had to learn how to do was dump our tanks. So I want to show everybody how that process works and what works for us the best.
So what's next?
I gotta turn the shower off. So I had to run inside really quick and shut off the water. I forgot that I left the water in the shower running in. Thank goodness it hadn't filled the tank, because I have the gray tank handle shut, and I'll explain why in a little bit. So I am outside the RV where our handles are to pull our tanks and drain everything out. But I wanted to tell you really quick about how we use our tanks when we are in a spot. If we are hooked up to water and sewer, so full hookups, we keep our black tank always, no matter what, keep your black tank shut, and we keep our gray tank handles open. The reason is that your black tank, this is gross, but you don't want all the solids falling down into the tank and the liquids running out. So you want to keep that tank shut so everything mixes with lots of liquid and doesn't get dried up. They call it the poo pyramid. It's nasty, but that's what, poo pyramid, you don't want it. So leave your black tank shut, but your gray tank open. That way you can just shower and wash dishes and do everything like if you were in a house with plumbing. So if we're boondocking, that's different, or if we're on the road, of course, everything's shut, and that's a totally different video. But today is all about how to dump and maintain your tanks. So let me show you what we do. So we have 2 gray tanks on our RV, and then of course 1 black tank. Some people I think have 2 black tanks too, but we have 1, and we have 2 gray tanks. So we actually have handles for pulling them open in 2 different spots, but this is our main spot. Right here we have the main gray, which is our bathroom, and our black tank. So I'm gonna explain really quick how we do these tanks, and then I'll show you the other one. Like I said before, we leave our gray tank open most of the time. So that handle is pulled out under here. I'll show it to you in a second, but it's out, so it's open, and all the gray water just runs down into the sewer. Well, the problem with that is when you need to dump your black tank, you need some water, some good fresh water, to flush the hose, flush the line out so that there's not gunk in it. So what you want to do is the day before, hours before, whatever, most people say the day before, you go out and you shut your gray tank. That way overnight, when everyone's taking a shower or whatever, it'll fill up some, and then when you go to dump your tanks the next day, when you pull that black handle and all your black runs out, then you've got some fresh but gray water, soapy water, to flush the line with. So that's what we do. So a few minutes ago, we realized that we needed to dump our black tank, and I had forgot to shut the gray. So I shut the gray, and I intentionally went inside and turned on the shower and ran a whole bunch of water down into the tank. So we've got hopefully enough gray water in there to rinse our line. So I'm down here by our tank handles. Most people's are in this general area, but yours might be in a different place. But ours are up under here, and they are the main gray, and then the black one is the one to the right. So I'm gonna pull the black one. So right now it's shut, it's all the way in, but I'm gonna pull it out, and it's gonna come down this big old pipe and go down into the sewer. So here we go. And they can be really hard to open.
And that's the sound of poo, ladies and gentlemen.
And that's the sound of an excessively full black tank.
Hey, let's go see it on the other end. You want to do that?
So we are here at our friend's house in the Panhandle of Florida, and they are awesome enough that they let us stay here. Super gracious. We love them, and it's really cool because they actually have a 50-amp hookup and a place where we can dump our tank right into their septic tank. So anyway, we love them and we're thankful that we can come stay and hang out. But I thought while the black tank was dumping, I would explain a little bit of like, how do you know when you need to dump your black tank? Because when we first started, we had no clue. You have the sensors in the RV on your little panel and you hit the button and it's supposed to tell you, but our sensors were bad or covered in gunk. Most people's are. So sometimes you can change those out to the fancy ones that don't get gunked up. But anyway, the first time that we knew we needed to dump our black tank, it was because we went to flush the toilet and this air bubble came up and kind of splashed a little bit and made a bloop sound, and I kind of panicked. I was like, what is that? And so we started researching and Googling, and people are like, oh, that's the toilet burping. So it's like trapped methane gas in your tank, and so it's like vent out the top of the RV, but I guess if it's super full, it doesn't, so I don't know. So it's time to dump it, and now we know that we can go like right at a week for our family before we need to dump. But so if you get the toilet burps, if you've ever seen that, you know what I'm talking about, and if not, that's what it is if you have that happen. Let's finish dumping the tanks. So I just unhooked our freshwater hose. We normally have a Y where we put the freshwater hose on one side and our regular outside water hose on the other side. And we use our outside water hose to flush our tank. We have a little hookup. Some people have that and some people don't. So if you do, then you can do this step. If not, then there's another procedure that you follow. So I'm gonna hook this is like our regular outside water hose too. We actually have a valve for flushing and it's right here. And you just hook it there and you turn the water on and it sprays water through a like a jet thingy inside. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but you plug it up and you turn the water on and it sprays water into your black tank and flushes it. You didn't yell action this time, I didn't.
Action!
So I just turned on the water to this hose and it is hooked up to the flush. So it is spraying, you can hear it, it's like a little jet in there flushing water down into the tank. The thing is, when you do this, the RV people say you're supposed to leave your black tank open. And right now it is open, so everything it's flushing in there is supposed to go, it's gonna go right down the line. But what we sometimes do is we will shut the handle. They don't recommend this, but everybody does it. We shut the handle to the black tank, we let it spray water down in there and let it fill up some, and then when you open the handle, all that will rush out, like kind of just giving it a good rinse. And you can repeat that several times. Just, if you do that, don't forget that you left the water running and walk off, because if you do, you will fill your black tank and it will come up through your toilet and you will have nasty water everywhere. So we've never done that, but we've heard of people that have by accident done that, and that would just really be bad. So you don't want to do that. So we're going to do this for a few minutes and then we'll do our gray tank, and sometimes we'll flush from anywhere from like a minute or two to, depending on where we are, we might let it run a lot longer than that, way longer than that. It just depends. When you feel like you think it's done, then turn the water off. So we have dumped the black, we've dumped the, flushed the, I can't talk. We've flushed.
Dump the black. Action!
So we have dumped the black and flushed the black, and now we're gonna dump our gray so that it will wash out the line and all down the hose and get all that funky, nasty stuff out of there. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing we did with the black handle, except this time we're gonna pull the gray handle and open the gray tank. There's a lot of water in the back tank this time, so we're gonna go shut our other gray tank.
Open it.
Open. Okay. So I opened the gray tank handle in the front, and then I came down here because we have a second hidden gray tank that the handle is in between our tires, and that's for our kitchen and laundry washing machine tank. So I'm gonna pull that one, and it's in an awkward spot, so. So that is our process for dumping our tanks. And we do have one more step that we do every single time we dump. And we also do this when we hit the road to go down the road. We put about half a cup to a cup of plain old blue dish soap into our toilet and put it down into our black tank. And the reason that we use this instead of tank chemicals is we tried a whole bunch of different kinds and none of them really worked for us. I thought that things smelled worse after using the tank chemicals than when we started doing this. When we use the blue dish soap, we don't smell anything. There's like no smell at all. So give it a try. We've been doing it this way for 15 months and it works great. Put a couple of toilet bowls full of water down into the tank and then about half a cup to a cup of dish soap, and that works well for us. So that's how we take care of our tanks, and if you have any questions you can ask them below and we'll be sure to answer them. We have so much fun when our phones ding and it's YouTube showing that we have a new subscriber. So click subscribe below and then hit that little bell icon so you can be notified every time we post a new video.